Thank you very much. Thank you.
On behalf, I'm sorry for the poor quality of my voice because we are preparing to show the world that our democracy is strong and we are great people. On behalf of His Excellency Dr. George Malema, President of the Republic of Liberia, and His Excellency President-elect Joseph Wakai, we welcome you to Liberia via the National Council of Chiefs and Elders. We are standing here accompanied by our sister, a strong woman, an advocate for the rights of women. We adore you, we admire you, we say thank you for a true Pan-Africanism. We also thank you for the legacy and diversity of our cultures that unite us as a people. You are welcome in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, and the blessed Holy Spirit. May Allah be praised. May Allah be praised. May Allah
Council.
Gala.
Council.
Gala.
Praise and faith.
You are welcome.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Mr. Julius Malema of South Africa. It's been received
Queen Julius,
by
traditional queen
the
of
President of the Academy of Freedom
Liberia's
Fighters of
cultural
Liberia.
ambassador. And I present this as a authentic Liberian
Emmanuel
fabric
Bongo.
that says Liberia is Ebola free and is one of my clothing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll take you to the guest.
Thank you. How are you? Okay.
Meeting interacting with members of the Liberian Parliament. What's the message to them, as it relates to your role in fighting for freedom in Africa?
Members of Parliament must make sure that Parliament works for the people. It holds the executive accountable. They must not be sweethearts of the president and ministers. They must look after the resources of the people by holding those in the executive accountable. If you are a member of Parliament and you seek favor and you want to be liked by the president or a minister, you must know you have already failed. We are not in Parliament. I'm in Parliament myself. We're not in Parliament to be liked. We're in Parliament to make sure democracy works. And democracy can only work if the resources of the state are looked after. How do we ensure that? Parliament must always watch over the executive on how it utilizes the state resources. If it utilizes state resources for family benefit, an individual benefit and friends benefit or patronage, then the EFF and the members of parliament must make sure they make the loudest noise against corruption and using the money of the resource of the state for the benefits of certain individuals who are close to the executive.
Thank you very much.
Well, we are very happy to be in Liberia. This is our home. This is part of the continent of Africa. And I'm happy that EFF Liberia has been doing a good work to try and spread the message of economic freedom in our lifetime. We are here to witness democracy and freedom in action, because that's what we want to see in the continent, where elections are held, then the results are announced, and there is no spilling of blood of innocent people on the ground. And that is what we have decided to come and witness in action.
You have been one of the persons who have advocated for change and freedom across the continent of Africa. What is your hope for the newly elected president who will be inaugurated tomorrow for Africa and the entire world?
Well, he should service the people of Liberia. He must make sure that he delivers on the commitments that were made during election time. The reason why they didn't give the previous president a second term is because he was not loyal to his own commitment. So now we should not commit similar mistakes. We must make sure there is peace, there is economic development and economic empowerment of African indigenous people, and ensure that the whole continent sings the song of peace. And we must put guns down and resolve whatever issues through dialogue and the power of persuasion.
Mr. Malema, how do you intend working? Mr. Malema, how do you intend working with the Economic Freedom Fund of Liberia?
Hello.
Yes, I'm Sylvester Chirople from Spoon TV. Mr. Malema, how do you intend working with the Economic Freedom Fund of Liberia to see change in the new government that's coming?
Well, they are our sister organization here in Liberia. We work very close together, and we're going to ensure that we work with them, and we must make sure that they continue to engage with the president-elect and continue to make their inputs. The good thing with the president-elect and the EFF Liberia is that they enjoy a cordial relationship. They are not one party, but they've got some form of respect for one another. And I hope that the EFF will be given that opportunity to continue to express itself and represent the people of Liberia and the African continent. They played a very important role in securing the democracy and the free and fair elections of Liberia. They could not allow any form of rigging. They did not allow any form of manipulation, because the will of the people is supposed to be respected.
Thank you. My name is Willie from Front Page Africa. The EFF establishment in Liberia has been a short while, but has been able to amass a lot of membership across Liberia here in the diaspora. What does a visit bring? Extra thing that a visit brings to the EFF in Liberia?
We're here to affirm the EFF Liberia and to say to the people of Liberia, your permanent solution to economic and political challenges and social challenges that you are confronted with lies, the solutions lies with the EFF Liberia. EFF Liberia is a committed organization that wants to see the African people being promoted, being listened to, being empowered, owning their own countries and owning their own democracy. So our presence here is to say to the whole of Liberia, we recognize the EFF and its leadership here in Liberia, and we want you to continue to affirm them and put a more motion of confidence in their leadership.
Yes, my name is Harris Billy, and I report for Punch FM and TV. I'm much more particular. You have been a very strong critic of the white. That's according to you believe the whites are taken from the continent of Africa. Liberia has been a long-standing partner to the United States, which by our understanding means the incoming government must reaffirm its support to the U.S. government. Do you see the reasons for why Liberia is voting for the incoming government, that your EFF areas were part of and supported an incoming administration that have pledged a commitment to the U.S. government? Do you see any sincerity in your advocacy across the African continent?
Well, diplomatic relations constitutes, amongst other things, that kind of an attitude. But the EFF's affirmation of the president-elect is not an affirmation of America. It's to say domestically, we find you to be better than the other one and someone that can resolve our issues internally. But when it comes to international policy, we're not seeing eye to eye because we'll never affirm America, we'll never be friends with America. We know what America did here in Liberia and the whole African continent. We know what Europe did. We know what the British have done to our continent, and therefore will never support colonialism in whatever way possible. But Liberia, even under the EFF government, it will have a diplomatic relationship with the USA. It doesn't mean an affirmation. It simply means we don't exist in isolation.
Okay, so my name is Afonso Kalama, and I report for Shiko News Online. Sir, you are one of the critical voices in Africa. You're going to be meeting and interacting with members of the Liberian Parliament. What's the message to them, as it relates to your goal in fighting for freedom in Africa?
Members of Parliament must make sure that Parliament works for the people. It holds the executive accountable. They must not be sweethearts of the president and ministers. They must look after the resources of the people by holding those in the executive accountable. If you are a member of Parliament and you seek favor and you want to be liked by the president or a minister, you must know you have already failed. We are not in Parliament. I'm in Parliament myself. We're not in Parliament to be liked. We're in Parliament to make sure democracy works. And democracy can only work if the resources of the state are looked after. How do we ensure that? Parliament must always watch over the executive on how it utilizes the state resources. If it utilizes state resources for family benefit and individual benefit and friends benefit or patronage, then the EFF and the members of Parliament must make sure they make the loudest noise against corruption and using the money of the resource of the state for the benefits of certain individuals who are close to the executive.